Oh, yeah, welcome in, welcome in. It is Views from the Stands, and I am your host, Stevie B, Steve Brennan, and we are back to full strength this time. We have everybody with us, and it's been a little bit since we know how to do this with you guys, so we're truly happy and truly excited to be back with this whole thing, man. We have a fun-filled show for you tonight, man. We're going to have there's a big firing going on in the NFL, and we had a discussion. We were talking about this, and I think it's going to be a pretty good one for a lot of different people here. Is this a new trend that's going on in the NFL with all these rookies? So I think it's been an interesting conversation because it's definitely been happening a lot more than not. But after that point, maybe we got the Views from the Stands power rankings, and there's definitely been some shakeups that's been going on the last few weeks. With baseball in full swing, no pun intended, we're going to break it down with our guy BC and Braden's bullpen. With the NBA right around the corner as well, we're going to not totally dive deep into it right away. We're just going to talk about some stuff that we're excited about, man, because it's, I believe, the 22nd is going to be going live, so we're really excited about that. So we'll be definitely telling you some stuff we got coming up. Orlando Magic talk, I'm sure, from Mr. BC. So anyways, without further ado, let's introduce the boys and us. Let's pay some bills here, man. Mr. G, Mike, you're up first. Let the people know what you got going on, my man.
What up, y'all? I hope you guys are appreciating the new background, baby. Change of a little scenery of the camera. But if you guys are into sports gambling, I run a Telegram channel where we offer daily slips to get you winnings from $10 to $50 to $100 a day. I'm going to put the link right up in the chat if you're watching the live episode. If you're watching the recorded episode, the link is going to pop up on your screen, as well as my social media accounts where you can slide in my DM, ask me a conversation on how we could get you on and pop.
Absolutely. Mr. BC, man, and we know we got all BC, the brand. Why don't you let the people know a little bit more about it?
I mean, it's my new social media stuff. Been starting, not so new anymore. Been doing it for about, how long I've been doing the social media game now? For about 5 months, it feels like. So, been doing that, just starting to get into voiceover work, getting into more announcing stuff, camera work. Just you can kind of follow along with me on the social medias there. Just kind of see day in life working in sports media and stuff like that, working for the professional teams. Just kind of get a little taste of my life, my story a little bit. And also too, the missus and I, we've got our own little small business, brands.media. We got your event, wedding, photography, videography. We've got everything that you want in one place. It's on brands.media. Check it out on the website. See if our portfolio is what you guys want, or if anybody that you know is celebrating a special occasion, hit us up, brands.media.
Absolutely, man. And last but not least, we want to give a shout out to Varsity Sports Nation. Varsity's been riding with us since day one, man. Varsity Nation is great because it's an easy app that you can download, man. You want live sports, they got you. You want college sports, you want high school sports, they got you. The best part is it's free to download, and you can watch content like you're watching right now with us. You can also watch some other great content creators that's out there on the site itself. So give them a like, give them a subscribe, shout them out. They've been helping us out. And while you're at it, please give us a like and subscribe as well. We've been doing really well with the views lately, and we really appreciate that. And that's all because of you guys giving us a chance and giving us a little bit of time of your day. So we really appreciate that. So without further ado, my man, let's go with the news, my man. Are you guys ready?
Do it.
News from the world of sports.
All right, so if you haven't heard, the biggest thing that just happened recently is Brian Callahan of the Tennessee Titans. Man, I am stuttering today. Sorry about that. Brian Callahan of the Tennessee Titans. It's been a little bit, a couple weeks off here. Man, I'll get you.
It's been busy.
Yeah. Anywho, let's get back to business here. Brian Callahan of the Tennessee Titans was just fired. Now, this wasn't necessarily the biggest surprise in the world, considering the team has almost seemed like they've digressed since they've drafted Cam Ward. I think the bigger issue that we wanted to talk a little bit more about is the new trend that's going on in the NFL, that they're not giving these coaches time to grow with these quarterbacks. It almost seems like the old adage is that whenever you get the number one pick, you're basically drafting a player for the next quarterback, for the next head coach. BC, I know you know what I'm talking about in this one. What's your thoughts on this firing? Because if you look in the last few years, we had Urban Meyer, we've had Brian Callahan, just get right here. And those are the other two coaches that's been going out of my lost my mind on that one. I can't remember the last two. It's happened the last 4 years in a row that they've been fired and haven't made it either a full season or a season and a half. Do you think this is the right move, and this is actually going to help any of these quarterbacks long term?
I think it just depends, honestly. It's a situation by situation thing. Obviously, the 1-5 record is not good, but we also weren't expecting the Titans to be that good at all this season either. We weren't expecting them to get anywhere close to the playoffs, not even close to the third seed in their own division. So, or third place in their own division rather. So it was one of those where we kind of expected them to suck. But what my guess would be is that there's probably something going on, maybe some dissension in the locker room, maybe issues going on between, like you said, coach and quarterback, where, you know, you get brought in, rookie quarterback and stuff, they're getting trained to be the next coach. That's probably reason for it with some of these situations. Urban Meyer throwing it back to Jacksonville, obviously that was a toxic environment right there for Trevor Lawrence to be in, and it just wasn't it was not a good fit overall for Jacksonville. Urban Meyer was not going to help them take the next step, the next level. Off the field issues aside, but yeah, it's one of those things where I guess the quickness of the firing probably had more to do with what was going on in the locker room, not just what was going on the field. You can forgive a bad record, but a young team, but you can't forgive a locker room that you've already lost.
Do you think that statement that Jeffrey Simmons was saying about how they weren't prepared is one of the worst weight practices they've ever had? I'm going to throw this one to you, Mr. G. Mike. What do you think about that comments? Do you think that was a actual factor? Because the president of operations was trying to say, I didn't know anything about it, which is also not good to do if you don't know your players are saying these things publicly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want it from day one, bro. You want each and every day to be as perfect as possible. Obviously, you're not going to get perfection, but you want to strive for excellence, right? And if you're going through just simple drills, just walkthroughs and stuff, and you're saying that you're not having a good week because of that, that is a problem, man. That is a problem. And I'm not surprised that Titans fired the coach, really. I mean, in the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of coaches get fired because they have new quarterbacks and they're not doing as well and all that. We could put the blame on that for sure. I think it's partial to it. But to me, if you look at the stats, Titans are one of the worst defenses in the league when it comes to rush defense. Their pass defense is all right, but they're the number one scoring, allowing other teams to score on rush touchdowns. Literally, number one. If you go check it out. And then on offense, they're a complete bust. They cannot get any completions. One of the worst offenses in the league with pass completions, one of the worst offenses with rush yards, and one of the worst offenses with scoring the football. So, yeah, you could put the blame on the fact that you have a new quarterback, but what difference does that make when it comes to the O-line, when it comes to the running back, when it comes to the receivers, when it comes to the defense, the rush and the pass? Again, the pass is okay, but everything else when it comes to this actual football team is a complete disaster. And you're always going to look to the first person on who's in charge out there on the field, and that is the head coach. If there are players out there just going through the motions and you got coaches that are saying we're not having good weeks in practices, that comes from the head of the snake. And the head of the snake is the coach. And I'm sorry, but you got to go, man. You got to make a difference. You got to change the scenery. You got to do something to change the organization on starting off 1-5 and trying to get the wheels rolling and trying to go to a positive outcome instead of just keep going with the same negative outcome.
Do you think this is a Tennessee problem or is this just an NFL problem? And the reason I asked that is because Tennessee was also when they drafted Marcus Mariota also got rid of head coach, same style in the middle of his rookie season as well. Same situation. They just got the number one pick. They got Cam Ward, who was, I think, consensus number one overall pick. I don't think that he's a bust. I don't think that that's the issue at all with it. But it is that time. You have to give people time. Now, he did have Will Levis last year as well. Will Levis did not improve. They brought Callahan in there to be this offensive mastermind because it worked well with, I believe it was Joe Burrow, which pretty much anybody back there is going to work good with Joe Burrow. So do you think this is more of a Tennessee problem or is this just one of those knee-jerk reactions because the NFL is changing and everybody wants results now?
I guess a bit of a combo of both. I mean, we pointed out earlier Callahan's tenure with Cincinnati as a good thing. And, he was offensive coordinator in that time, went to the Super Bowl. But then you look at some of his stops before that, quarterbacks coach in Oakland, quarterbacks coach in Detroit. And this is all before Goff got to Detroit and everything. Offensive assistant in Denver, offensive quality control coach for Denver. So not really a lot of experience being a head coach, not even a lot of experience being a coordinator, really. Only 4 or 5 years running the offense for a team. I know that nowadays we kind of live in, like you said, a kind of a fast-paced world. I mean, shoot, the Bucs just had multiple coordinators over the last couple of years become head coaches.
Yeah.
I get that, but there's also not every single coach is going to fall under that same ability that Liam Cohen and Dave Canales will fall under. Some guys need more time to mature. They need more time to develop. They need more time to be a leader. Just like we can't necessarily expect a rookie quarterback to be thrown to the wolves and develop overnight. You can't expect an offensive coordinator that's only had 4 years of actual coordinating experience running one side of the ball to be able to be like, yeah, let's hand them the reins to an entire NFL team. Have at it.
So I want to point out two things here, right? And one, I want to say that I agree with what BC is saying. I think it's a combo of both, right? But let's put it into logic. This guy got hired because he had Joe Burrow under center. He had Chase Brown, who had a magnificent year last year, and people thought he was going to have the same thing this year, and he could have if it wasn't for the offensive line. But imagine if they had an offensive line that wasn't literally the worst in the league. Maybe if they were just like the 20th ranked offensive line. Imagine that. Imagine the things that Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike, I always forget how to pronounce his name, Mike Gesicki, Chase Brown. Imagine what they can do with the offensive line, right? But they don't have that offensive line, so these playmakers have to do what it does on their own. They did. They were literally the number one ranked offense by the end of the year last year. Almost got into the playoffs if it wasn't for their worst start in probably like 5 to 6 years. And people start looking to, okay, this offensive coordinator knows what he's doing. And it could be, I'm not saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, but you have all these playmakers. Do we not think that that plays an outcome to it? Like, you can't just be like, oh, the OC knows exactly what he's doing and he's running these plays and they're doing crazy and crazy scoring plays and all this stuff. No, like when you actually dissect it play by play, it's the playmakers out there that are really doing it what it does, because now you see that he's in Tennessee. You don't have these playmakers no more. Tony Pollard, yeah, he's pretty good, but he's not Chase Brown. Calvin Ridley is good, but he's not Jamar Chase and T. Higgins combined. Cam Ward, I think he's going to be phenomenal years to come, but is he the same thing as Joe Burrow? No. So it's like you can't be throwing these OCs in these situations that are going to – you think they're going to be like, oh, man, the Tennessee Titans are going to be a great offense because his OC came. They got Cam Ward, number one pick. They got a decent running back, and they got a what could be a superstar wide receiver. No, it's not going to happen like that. And then the second thing I want to point out, I think we all know, like, true NFL fans, or like just in other leagues as well, but right now we're just talking about the NFL. I think we really know that there are teams that want to win a Super Bowl and can actually win a Super Bowl. And then there are teams that are just looking to get a paycheck. And that's what I think the Tennessee Titans are. I don't really think that they're in the business to win. I think they're in the business to sell out tickets, have these big names come over there and waste their careers, like DeAndre Hopkins. Went over there for what? Derrick Henry spent the first 9 years or whatever the hell there and trying to bring a title to them, but they weren't giving him the pieces to bring the title because their offensive line wasn't any good. And then they had Ryan Tannehill, who they're under center while Derrick Henry was there, while they had chances to trade for other quarterbacks. So it's like, to me, the Tennessee Titans don't really want to win a Super Bowl. They just out there to collect the paycheck.
Yeah, and we got thanks for checking in too, as well, saying that's the same business as the Dolphins, and I agree. That's a lot like it. To kind of piggyback off of your take on the offensive coordinator too, I think a prime example of that is Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy was, supposed to be the genius of everything. He went through multiple interviews. Nobody hired him. Nobody wanted him. But I think because everybody kind of figured out, wait a second, Andy Reid was really the guy behind all of this stuff. So just because you're a hot coordinator doesn't necessarily mean he's going to make it make it as a great head coach. I think another example of that is Steve Spagnuolo. Steve Spagnuolo is a fantastic, if not one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time. It didn't necessarily work out for him as well as a head coach, but now Spags is just a household name just by a last name, and he's a defensive coordinator. There's very few people that have that going on right now. So I think that's a really good example of what it actually takes whenever you got these coordinators out there. I do want to raise a question to you both, though, and we can kind of wrap this up a little bit here. And BC, because you have a little bit more experience with this one, considering it, but the name that I kind of brought up, I was thinking because you brought him up, was Dan Canales, like you were saying. Now, the Carolina Panthers have been not that great, but they keep on feeling like they're improving a little bit. I think Bryce Young is going that route. So this is kind of like the almost the anti of what Tennessee just did. They're giving a guy a chance, even though they didn't win very many games last year. It looked like it could work out a little bit, but I think they're steadily improving. Do you think that it's worth it to stick these guys around, or is it, hey, it ain't working, it got to make the move? And that's kind of what I was trying to get at with this whole debate here.
I think that it's definitely worth it in the long run. Just give somebody a chance, give them a chance to establish a culture, give them 3, 4, 5 years, and then if they haven't moved the needle to where you think it needs to be, then yeah, it's time to move on. But if they're still like, he's not even in his he hasn't even gotten his second season under his belt yet, hasn't even gotten his, his quarterback fully, inundated in the offense and in, an entire season. So the fact that you're only going to fire him 1.5 years into his tenure there, I think it's a bit much. It's too quick. And again, I understand wanting results, but you're literally in the middle of a rebuild. Like, you need to give this guy a little bit more time. And, would I have said maybe Brian Callahan's would have been my choice for head coach? No, I would not have. I would have went with, other options, but maybe that he's just all they had. But I think that you still need to give him a little bit more time, let him get his offense in there. And then if the Titans are still 1-5, or not 1-5, if they only have 1 or 2 or 3 wins at the end of each of the next 3 seasons, then yeah, it's probably is time to move on at that point. 1 win progress, moving from 1 to 2 to 3 is not that bad, or is not good. But then seeing Canales and the progress that he's having now with Carolina, it's actual improvement. So yeah, in a nutshell, it's the long way of saying, yeah, patience, tends to pay off a lot more in the long run than just making a knee-jerk reaction decision.
Yeah, we can wrap this. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say that I think that this answer is more gray than it is black and white, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, this goes to what I was saying about Titans just being a team that wants to collect the paycheck. It's like they probably got, I would put my money on it, that they probably got so much hate from fans saying to fire this guy. So that's the move that they had to make. They had to make the move to fire him because they're trying to please their fans and keep selling tickets because they know they're not going to go anywhere. And it's easy to say that right now because they're 1-5, but I've been seeing this for the last 5 to 8 years with the Tennessee Titans, man. It's just been.
Well, I mean, they did have Vrabel. They did fire Vrabel, and I think that made no sense in a nutshell as well.
And exactly to my point. Like, you look at Vrabel right now, and even when he was with the Titans, he was a good coach, right? Mm-hmm. They just didn't put the pieces around him, like when it comes to the on-field talent and the coaching staff to help him out. So now he goes to the Patriots, and look what he's doing with the Patriots. They look like a top 10 team right now, and It's like, what are you really doing as a Tennessee Titan GM, owner, or even some of the other front offices employees that they're putting their own input to it? Are you guys really trying to win, or are you just trying to sell tickets, man? And I think it just goes to the fact that this man, he shouldn't have been fired, but if the fans are calling for it and you just want to sell tickets, that's what you're going to do. You're going to blame it on somebody, and that person is going to be the head of the snake.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so to kind of sort of put this thing to rest, I guess I just want to get you guys' opinion on this one. G. Mike, we'll go with you first. Was this the right move?
Again, I think there's more gray area with that answer. I don't think it's black and white. I don't think it was the right move. I think that you should have just waited until the entire season is done. Just wait till the entire season. You want to wait till the end of the season to fire him? All right, cool. You're not going to go anywhere anyways. Let's be realistic. There's a lot of teams in the AFC that are looking like contenders right now, and you guys are not one of them. Might as well try to see if you can improve down the road. And just like my boy Gio in the chat mentioned about the Dolphins, same business as the Dolphins. When they had Brian Flores, they went 1-7. They literally almost came back and tried to get in the playoffs. Yes, it was hard. There was a lot of games that they played that was easy opponents, and then when it came to the end of the schedule, they got harder opponents for sure. But they went from 1-7 to like 6-10 or something like that. Like I don't even remember what the record was, but they came back in that end of the season with some beliefs, with some hope, with some courage, with some dignity. to actually win games. And maybe that's what this coach would have done at the end of the season. But right now, obviously, we will not know.
All right, BC, what right move or no?
I don't think so. I think that waiting till the end of the season is not going to be like detrimental to the team. It's not going to be, in my opinion, it's not going to be detrimental to Cam Ward. You're literally just riding it out, at least showing that you're not going to be beholden to just the base urge or reaction of some of the fans.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with you as well on this one. And I think we need to stop treating these professional athletes so tender sometimes. It's going to hurt their confidence so much. These guys have been playing football their entire lives. Getting a new head coach fired, or unless they had a strong relationship, which most of the guys have only played 5 games together, I don't think Callahan would have really done any kind of damage. Urban Meyer, maybe the different example. That was so much turmoil. He was kicking his kicker, for Christ's sake. So that one's got to go. But having said that, yeah, I think you're right. I think the patience. So what are you going to do? You're going to bring in Mike McCoy, who's going to be the new head coach right now, who's already been fired as a head coach, didn't really do much. So you're going to have him, and he's not going to do any kind of damage that Brian Callahan did. So what's the difference? Like you were saying. So now you're going to have this guy come in. You're basically just having a placeholder for this. Why not just keep it around in there? The guys, like you were saying as well, G Mike, they're not going to the Super Bowl. We already know that. So this is a rebuild. And then, hell, what happens if all of a sudden – we all know what happens whenever these guys bring the new head coach in. They play strong for 2 games, and then it falls back to reality. So what if they're going to put themselves out of getting higher draft picks because they messed around and got more motivation or something? So I think you see the writing on the wall, develop with what you got. And I stop treating these quarterbacks, especially, so they're so tender and their confidence is going to be shot. Quarterbacks are one of the most confident people in the world when it comes to athletes. Am I wrong on that or what?
No, I would agree.
Some are more tough than others, as we'll discuss in a few moments here.
They ain't Ben Simmons.
Absolutely.
They ain't Ben Simmons.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Charmin.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and move on from that one, man, and we are going to get into one of our favorite topics we got coming up, and it's been a lot of fun going. We're going to move into the power rankings.
The FTS's NFL Power Rankings.
All right, guys, we've been having a lot of fun with this power rankings, and it gets difficult. I'm not going to lie. You have some stronger teams. You have some teams at the top that look really well, and then once you get down to about 5 and below, not even no pun to the store unless you guys want to sponsor us. But having said that, it gets difficult.
There we go.
It gets difficult. And a lot of these teams, you're just pulling hairs, and there's one could be in one spot, one could be the other. But without further ado, we're gonna start from 1 and head all the way down to 10. So, Mr. G Mike, you are up first, my man. Who is your number 1 team going into Week 7?
Number 1, I got the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes,
I think that they have one of the best defenses in the league. I think they have one of the best offenses in the league. They are literally like slight to nothing margin of error. I think they've only had like 8 punts throughout. Freaking about to be Week 7. That is insane. And I don't think we've heard that in a long time. One of the best running backs in the game, Jonathan Taylor. JT. This guy, man, is running over everybody. This guy can catch the ball and get into space. He's a speedy back. He's a power back. He scores. I think he's scored every single week from to this point, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's scored in multiple games, multiple TDs. Their wide receiving core, I think Jonathan Downs is actually improving a lot. Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah, Josh Downs is good.
Yeah, and then Tyler Warren, they were actually using him the whole first drive of last week, and he actually scored. So this guy's going to be a top 10 tight end by the end of the year for sure, no doubt. Bro, you put that all together, man, especially with the record 5-1 and with the teams that they have played, have been some tough teams, except for the first week in the Miami Dolphins. Man, the Indianapolis Colts are number 1, man. I got them.
All right, Mr. BC, who is your number 1 team in the league right now?
Isn't it obvious? And I mean, dude, I'm repping it right now, man. Wore the hat Sunday. Dude, it's the Tampa Baker Bucks, man, my guy. No, all due respect.
Tampa Bay Bakers, that's it. That's what we're gonna call.
Tampa Baker, man, Tampa Baker. All due respect for the Colts, I'll hit on them in just a moment, a little bit later on. But yeah, no, for me, it's still the Bucks. They climbed up to the top the last couple weeks, getting out gutsy win after gutsy win. Even with all the injuries that they faced, yes, the Niners lost Fred Warner in that game. Buccaneers lost Ibuka as well. At one point during the game, though, too, we were literally relying on Cameron Johnson, Tez Johnson, and Sterling Shepard as your wide receiver trio, and they still hung 30. Like this team, I know right now they're injured, they're battered, they're beat to hell right now, but I will tell you what, this team is deep. Depth is the key to this team. I don't know how they do it other than Jason Light, credit to him for finding these guys, whether through free agency, through the draft, and then credit to the guy under center, the guy that was getting MVP chance the entire game on Sunday, because in my opinion, he's the MVP frontrunner. Like
You just want Tez Johnson?
I
You
mean,
heard that story, right?
that backflip was sick. I'm not.
You heard
like,
that story, right?
I love it. Oh, I did. Yep.
Yeah,
But
that story's great. He's like, "Oh, I think chanting MVP."
They're chanting MVP.
That was great. That was great.
He's like, no, that not this. That's me. But no, he's played otherworldly, and he's just shown, like, shout out to him. He's revived his career here, and like, my gosh, like the work that he's done. And again, with this going to this amount of, like, on the depth chart to the wide receivers, and he's still putting up close to 300 yards a game. Just the offense is humming on all cylinders. The defense as well was pitching a really good game overall. Like, I know we got outgained towards the end, but again, getting turnovers, forcing fumbles, getting interceptions, that's something that we never really saw in these Todd Bowles defenses the last few years, was being able to get takeaways. So not only now is the defense, they're starting to tighten up a little bit, not put as many points on the board, but now also they're starting to get takeaways, setting up the offense with a shorter field. And then you got Baker Mayfield on their center. I got to put him. I got to put the consensus MVP as we stand right now, and my team as number one. Not a home run.
Baker for MVP right now too.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, it has been a long time coming that I've been able to say this for a long time, man. And I'm going to have my Indianapolis Colts, Indiana baby, yeah, as the number one team.
He thinks it's 2007
right now.
This
is just mind-blowing right now, man. Right now, the Colts are sitting at fourth in the offensive leading right now, averaging 376.8 points per game. They're at fourth and they're fifth in passing. They're even. We were talking about. You mentioned it before. You were talking about special teams. They are literally fifth in the league in special teams. They're fifth in the league in turnovers. They are doing dominance right now. I think Jonathan Taylor could be the standout of the offensive player of the year if it went between him and Puka. Also, Daniel Jones, give it up for my man Indiana Jones. I feel like I had to toot my horn on this one. I was trying to tell everybody I don't think that that Daniel Jones is that bad. I think that the organization that he previously played for, the New York Giants, just had a lot of turmoil. So I don't think that Daniel Jones was the problem there. And I think Daniel Jones is fitting exactly what Indianapolis is asking him to do. He's playing smart football. He's not making bonehead decisions. He did have that bad interception last game. It happens. You're not going to make it through a perfect season, so we understand that. But with Jonathan Taylor running the ball the way he is, you got Tyler Warren, like you mentioned before. They're using him. They already said they were going to, like Brock Bowers earlier. He's doing exactly what they wanted to do with that, with the number 13 overall pick. Excuse me. So I think that he is doing exactly what they needed him to do. You got Michael Pittman filling in whenever he needs to. Alec Pierce is stepping up. Josh Downs is finally starting to get in the end zone. And this is just getting started. We're only going into not even the halfway point. Indianapolis is looking fantastic right now. So the defense is stepping up. DeForest Buckner is my dude. They got Cam Bynum that came over in free agency. He is looking fantastic. So I really, really like the way Indianapolis is playing. And one last thing to say for Indianapolis, that if the playoffs started today, Indianapolis, the playoffs run through Indianapolis right now, as well as Tampa Bay for you, Mr. BC. But if the playoffs ended right now, do you realize that it would be Indianapolis with the 1 seed and Tampa Bay with the 1 seed and the NFC and the AFC? How views from the stands? You're welcome, Indianapolis. You're welcome, Tampa Bay. That's all for you guys right there, man.
Get this man a beer. Get this man a beer, baby.
All right, Mr. BC. Let's go ahead and move on to number 2. Who do you got for number 2, my man?
I mean, we've been talking about like 2 out of 3 for this last one, so it's Indianapolis. Like, a lot of people have I feel like a lot of people are still not giving them a lot of credit. Like, I checked the NFL.com's power rankings. I think they had them ranked at only like 8th. I'm like, seriously?
8th?
Yeah.
8th?
I know.
Oh
it's
my
stupid.
God.
It's like I said, for me, I have the Bucks higher just because.
I understand 3, 4, 5, but 8?
Yeah, I know. But look, I have the Bucks higher just because I feel like they're still playing with missing pieces, and I feel like once they're back to full strength, But Indianapolis, though, the job they've been doing, I did not expect this out of them this year. And credit to Daniel Jones, credit to Jonathan Taylor, credit to everybody on that team. Like, they have really played above and beyond their expectations, I think, for a majority of people this year. And that deserves, I was a little hesitant to kind of boost them up a couple weeks ago just because I wanted to see a little bit more of what they could do. But they keep cranking out wins. They keep doing it. And it's like, I can't hold it back from them anymore. They're one of the only. I think they're the only other 5-1 team aside from the Bucks. So it's like, of course, you have to put them up there. You got to give them their flowers. They've earned the top 2 spot. So like, dang it, come on, America! Like, hop on there. Like, hop on the Views from the Stands bandwagon. Our teams, we're dialing it up. Sorry, not sorry.
Mr. G Mike, what's your number 2, my man?
It's all right. At least you
2 out
guys,
of 3.
your
2 out of 3.
teams are up there. Your teams are up.
Hey, you will always have the 90s. You'll always have the 90s.
I don't want that. I want it right now. I got the Bucks at number 2 as well. The reason I can't put them at number 1 is because I feel like the Colts have a better defense, and the fact that they have so many injuries. Man, you see Baker Mayfield out there looking like Tom Brady, throwing it to any single receiver and getting yards, touchdowns, 30-point games. Like, it don't matter. This man, Baker Mayfield, doing game-winning drives. I think they have one of the best offenses in the league right now. But that defense, I feel like it's got to step up a little bit more. And yes, they've had takeaways and they've had some stops, but they've had teams score on them a lot too. They need to tighten up that spot. So that's why I got them at number 2. But I like what I'm seeing from the Tampa Baker Bucks, baby. I like it.
Yep.
All right, yeah, so I'm going to agree with G Mike in this one as well and go with the Tampa Bay Bucks at number 2 as well. They're being very impressive. The only reason I kind of felt like I might have put them at number 1, I don't get very many opportunities to put my team number 1, so I took it. It's with the Liberties being a host. Okay, I can do that. Anywho, well, no, I agree with what G Mike was saying too. The biggest concern I have for the Bucks is the injuries. Luckily for Indianapolis, they've been able to stay relatively healthy. Besides Anthony Richardson breaking his eyeball on an exercise band, that is just insane. I don't know how that happened, but the Colts have been able to stay pretty well healthy, so that's why I had them above the Bucks. The Bucks has just been kind of getting Reggie riddled, but you could also take that and say the Bucks have been playing at a higher level because Baker Mayfield's had to do this with a bunch of guys off the bench, and so the Bucks are playing extremely impressive. So they're both 5-1 right now, and like I said right now, a couple minutes ago, they're both number 1 seeds in their respective conferences. At this point in time, I feel like you're just kind of pulling hairs. So I could see either having either one of them up top. Yeah, so the Colts they've played some a couple easy teams, I suppose, if you will. The Miami Dolphins, you can say what you want about them. Obviously, the writings on the wall. They've had a bad season.
Too.
But
the Rams,
if you go back to that Rams game, though, theoretically, you don't want to make excuses, but they gave up 14 points from one player off 2 boneheaded things that should have never happened. And they would have beat the Rams. They were in charge that entire game, and they blew it in that one.
Yeah,
they did beat Denver. They did beat Denver as well. Denver is a pretty good team. So I don't know. I can understand that point, but you play the teams that's on your schedule. So I kind of have to still go with that one as well. They have played a couple of easy games, but then they've also had a couple of challenges. They did come up short against the Rams. What's that?
That the Bucks have had a hard schedule.
Yeah. I could easily be okay with having Tampa Bay at number 1. I just I said, I had to take my chance and put them put my team at number 1.
It's kind of semantics we're arguing. I mean, both teams are 5-1, so it's like either one you got at the top, like they deserve it. A lot of people didn't expect. I think some people expected something from the Bucks, not as much from the Colts, but still nobody thought that both of our teams would be this good. So it's like, you know what? This is our show. We deserve to lift them up, and we deserve to have them on top of the standing. So
hey, I did have the winning division. All right, so I have to make that very clear. I did say that one. So
yeah.
All right, Mr. BC, you're up, man. What you got for number 3?
I've got Seattle Seahawks sitting in at number 3, one of the teams the Bucks beat recently. Yeah, it was a close game, very well fought, but they still found a way. Like, they still have one of the better, I think, overall teams in the league. They do great on the road. So yeah, again, Sam Darnold having a couple of rough outings, in recent weeks, some costly turnovers there in the fourth quarter for sure. But again, this is still a really well-rounded team. I think they do have still, a good defense and a good offense. They just had a couple of rough weeks there, but yeah, again, Seattle struggle a little bit at home, but on the road they are really good. And so for me, that's something as well that you can't underestimate, so to say, when it comes to ranking how good a team is. Like it's like the old saying, anybody can play really great at home. How well you play on the road in hostile territory, and they do a great job.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks have won. I believe it's 9 straight road wins. If I remember right, it's something along those lines. They've had a great road record. All right, G Mike, number 3, you're up.
I got the Seattle Seahawks number 3 as well, man. I think their defense is better than these other teams I would have under them. Their offense is just spectacular, bro. I know they're running first offense, but dude, anytime Sam Darnold gets a chance to throw it to JSN, man, it's like he's getting almost like 80 yards, a tutty, about like 9 to 10 catches a game. It looks like I don't even know why they signed Cooper Kupp because they're barely throwing him the ball. I don't even see him out there on the field. I think it's just JSN doing everything, really. Or if not, they're running the ball. I think their offense is great. Their defense has been improving for me every single week. And they could, in the beginning, it looked like they couldn't stop the pass and they could only stop the run. And now it's looking like no one can throw the ball on them or run the ball on them. I got Seattle.
Yeah, I like that pick. I was kind of surprised you guys hadn't both up as high as you guys did. This one's it gets kind of difficult, honestly. Like, it's not easy to do this one, but I'm gonna go with Detroit still at number 3. I just really believe in Detroit. I like the defense they have. I think their offense is awesome, and they're just fun to watch. They're very well coached. I could also see where you could have Seattle up there, but I know Detroit has stumbled whenever Detroit's one of those teams that whenever they look bad, they look bad. But whenever they're on fire, there's very few teams in the league that can stop them. So I got Detroit at number 3. Might be a little bit high, but I just like what I see out of the Lions still. All right, BC, you're up. Number 4.
My number 4 is going to be the LA Rams. Fresh off a 17-3 performance against the Ravens. I think for me that was something. I know the Ravens have struggled this year for sure, but again, you got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. That is still a nightmare duo to have to line up against. So if for that defense to go in there and keep them off the scoreboard, the offense off the scoreboard anyway, like that's such an impressive thing, I think, for them. And I got to tip my hat to them. And I think we kind of talked a little bit at the beginning of it that we weren't expecting much out of the West, and now you've got 2 of the NFC West in the top 5, at least for my power rankings. I've been very impressed with both Seattle, probably one of the toughest road tests we've had this year, and then LA in a few. I want to say in like a month or so, we're going to be on the road again playing against them. That's going to be another probably one of our second toughest road tests of the season. So both shout out to Seattle and LA for just playing just tough, grinded out, hard-nosed football.
Yeah, thank you. I want to give a shout out. Thanks, Teresa, for checking in. I hope you're doing really well. It's been a while. Yeah, what is going on with the Ravens? They're just banged up on all ends of the spectrum.
Injuries.
Lamar Jackson not there. They look bad right now. And especially what's crazy, too, is that they were a lot of – I'm almost positive, G-Mike, that was your Super Bowl pick, was it not? And that's – that could talk about a curse of a show on that one, man.
Still a lot of games.
Yeah, and the AFC North is still relatively doable in this one, but yeah, it's definitely not looking good for the Ravens right now.
Yeah.
All right, G Mike, you're up, man. So number 4 for you.
Number 4, I have the Detroit Lions. I think their offense is very overpowered. I think there's very few defenses that can stop them. Even I would say like the Colts, number 1 defense in my opinion. I think if they would play, it would be hard for the Colts to stop them from scoring 21. The reason I got them at 4 though is because their defense, man. Their defense is just like you think that they would improve throughout the weeks, and to me, it just looks like it's getting worse. And now that they have the suspension of Brian Branch after the whole scuffle with Juju Smith-Schuster, now they're going to be losing one of their top secondary guys, and where is that going to put them for real now? So I like their offense a lot, but their defense, man, they got to get better.
Yeah, and actually, Brian Branch is actually he's appealing that suspension, so he may not be out there. He has a decent case, but he's had so many issues in the past of fights and kind of boneheaded stuff on the field, so it might be hard for him to be able to win that appeal. So for number 4, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I got the Buffalo Bills still. I still believe in the Bills, and I know we all kind of disagree on this one. This might be the biggest one we disagree on. I know because the defense of the Bills has looked really bad. Let's give a little bit of credit to Bijan Robinson because Bijan Robinson last game, Bijan is one of the top. He was absolutely amazing and absolutely electric player. So he's going to make a lot of defenses look bad. Now, Buffalo definitely needs to get the defense figured out. Josh Allen, this last game, it didn't look right. The Buffalo just did not look right in a primetime game. Allen had a couple of interceptions, just had some bad, not Josh Allen-esque plays, if you will. And they kind of went away from the run. So I can't believe that they kind of did that. And so I'm not going to jump off the bandwagon of Buffalo yet. I believe they would like to. I still think they're going to be a really good team out here. So I'm going to keep Buffalo Bills up there, but they're wearing thin for me on this one if they have another performance like they did on Monday night.
Yeah.
All right, BC, you're up, man. You're halfway there. Number 5.
Rounding out my top 5, I have got the Detroit Lions, pretty much for similar reasons. Obviously, like 1 and 2 for me were kind of interchangeable. I could see 1A, 1B. 3, 4, and 5, kind of similar situations where they're all kind of within that same reach for me. But the difference maker compared to the West teams compared to Detroit is, like we talked about, defense. That's the big thing. It's been kind of their weak spot, especially the secondary. I haven't really seen a whole lot out of Detroit's defense. I know, like you said, Steve, when they're on it,
I knew I was going to get a lot of heat for that one.
I don't even got him on top 10, bro. I don't even got him on top 10, honestly.
I knew I was catching heat for that one.
Have you seen this fraud? But yeah, no, Detroit, like that offense is always going to be good. But yeah, the defense, they need to clean it up on that, and especially as we're getting deeper into the season when it comes down to the playoffs. If your offense is held in check and you can't keep points off the board, you're done. So I love Dan Campbell and the squad. They're still top 5 for me, but this is kind of like my Buffalo Bills fraud alert thing for them. Like come Monday, they got Tampa coming to town. You might possibly lose another piece of your secondary with the suspension. Come on now, y'all got to get that act together. Dan Campbell, you're supposed to be a leader of men. Like, come on, my guy.
Yeah. And this is why I had like 4 and 5 close together, right? Because my 5th is the Jacksonville Jaguars. But the thing with the Jaguars is their offense is not as great as the Detroit Lions. But it seems like it's coming into its own. It seems like Travis Etienne is running the ball harder, getting more elusive. It looks like Brian Thomas Jr. is getting more comfortable now, trying to get those catches, those targets that Trevor Lawrence is hitting him. Trevor Lawrence, though, is still looking iffy from week to week. He looks good, but then he doesn't. It's like very inconsistent, man. And the thing that's keeping them afloat is their defense. But with the way that the NFL is nowadays, if you're not putting up 27 to 30 points against teams that are, it's going to be tough for you to win. Even if your defense is obsolete, even if your defense is amazing, it's going to be hard for you to win if you cannot be putting up so much points because top offenses are still going to score on top defenses. But if you have a mid offense, but your defense is nice, it's only going to get you so far.
Yep.
All right, so if you thought fraud alert was up there for the Buffalo Bills, you're going to hate this one as well. And I'm just doing this because of record, and technically they're in first place. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers should be getting a lot more respect, man. I think that Aaron Rodgers' experiment, for all intents and purposes, has worked out. He's looked like he's having fun. He's looked like he's engaging with the guys. It looks like a little bit but the tail end of the Packers, Aaron Rodgers. DK Metcalf is coming into his own. Jalen Warren is really having a hell of a season. The defense started out horrible, but now it's starting to pick up its pace. It's starting to look a little bit more like the Steelers a little bit more. So I got to give them their flowers in this one. It might be a little bit high, but I got to give them. They are winning the top of the division. It looked like they're going to be maybe hosting a playoff game at this point in time if it ended right now. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, Mr. BC, we are past the halfway point. Number 6 for you.
I got ye old Buffalo Bills sitting at number 6. Like we said, the loss to Atlanta, it's one of those games where, again, a lot of people I think kind of underrate how good Atlanta is. Obviously, again, they're loaded offensively they're all loaded with talent on offense. So you can't knock them too much for dropping that one. But yeah, the Bills definitely have been struggling, kind of going away from what's worked with them at the beginning of the season. But again, I want to trust and believe that Josh Allen, MVP last year, and that rushing attack, that defense that they've revamped supposedly, it's gonna figure itself out in time. But it's again, we're getting towards that like 5, 6, 7, 8 range. We're like, all right, you're kind of teetering. Are you gonna get knocked out this time? Or are you gonna stay? Are you gonna actually be serious? So yeah, it's one of those where you can't keep going off of last year's success or previous season success and still expect that to carry over this year. No, you got to find ways to reinvent yourself. You got to find ways to make what worked for you stick and really reestablish that dominance that you've had.
All right, before we go real quick, we got some breaking news that just came through the wire right now. The Sacramento Kings and Keegan Murray agree on a 5-year, $140 million extension just off the wire 7 minutes ago. Man, that's a big amount of money for Keegan Murray, man. So good for him for getting that dough while he can, man. Kings spending some money. They just also signed Russell Westbrook earlier, but we get some more NBA talk later on. But some breaking news. We trying to pass that along. G Mike, you're up, man. Who's your next pick?
Number 6, I got the LA Rams, man. I love their run game. I love their pass game. I know they just lost Puka Nacua, a left ankle injury. He'll probably be out a few weeks, depending on how severe it is, but I don't think it's so severe. I think it's just a sprain. Their defense is coming into their own. They're much better rush defensively. I think they're stopping the run a little bit more. Their pass defense still needs some work. Some teams still throw the ball on them, and nothing they could really do to stop them. But I think their offense tramples that, and their defense is improving from week to week. So I got them at number 6.
All right, so my number 6 is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. I really like what I'm seeing out of Seattle. I love the road warriors that they've been. I think Sam Darnold is fitting in quite well with them. They look like they haven't missed a beat at all. JSN is showing that he is a true number 1 receiver in this league. And also, if you go back when he played for Ohio State, I believe it was Harry McLaurin might have been still there, but I know they had Marvin Harrison Jr., they had Garrett Wilson, and all of them kept on saying, JSN is probably the best out of everybody here and just needed the opportunity to get it, and he is getting it this year. So JSN is making it look easy out there. Him and Sam Darnold have one hell of a connection going. So I really like the way Seattle is playing. The defense is playing pretty well, but that offense is humming along too as well. So I really like Seattle right now. Yep. Mr. BC, number 7.
Keep it in the state of Florida and go with the Jacksonville Jaguars as my number 7. Obviously, beating the reigning AFC champions on Monday Night Football definitely goes over big. Losing to Seattle kind of hurts a little bit, but again, I've got Seattle as my top 3, so it's like it doesn't really hurt a whole lot. So they actually move up a few spots in my power rankings. So, Jacksonville, again, like a little bit of inconsistent play here and there from the offense, but defense has been keeping them in it. And then, we're still trying to see like if Trevor Lawrence can kind of figure it out with Liam Cohen. I think that they'll figure it out with enough time. But yeah, being able to beat the Chiefs, being able to, still be respectable through 6 weeks, I got to give it to them, number 7.
Yeah, great pick on that one, man. G Mike, you are up, my friend.
I got the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 7. Aaron Rodgers is doing what he's always done. A lot of people wrote him off in New York, but New York didn't have an O-line. They still don't have an O-line now for Justin Fields, man. Pittsburgh has a better O-line. He's able to, have a little bit more time to actually throw the ball where he wants to. Him and DK are getting more acquainted. That chemistry is building from week to week. Jaylen Warren, how Steve has mentioned earlier, he's doing great. He's being phenomenal. He's a great catching back and a great running back. When it comes to the defense, though, man, they've been letting the Steelers be in so many tight games up to this point that a lot of people wanted to rank them as one of the best defenses in the league before the season started, with the additions that they had with Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, re-signing TJ Watt, keeping that defense as a core and adding new additions. People would have thought, this team is going to be top 5. Not even close. Not even close to this point. I think they're improving for sure, but they just played the Cleveland Browns. They have no offense, really, man. Yeah, Judkins is showing that he could be a promising rookie running back. Dylan Gabriel, he had a good first starting a game. This game, not so much, but it was all right. It was kind of decent. But you're playing against a little sorry Cleveland Browns offense where you guys still had almost a close game. So it's like, I got to see more from the defense for them to be moved up in the spots. Yes, I know they're 4-1. They had a bye week, so maybe they could be 4-2 or they could be 5-1 right now. But the defense is just not showing me much, man. I got to keep them there.
All right, so my number 7 is going to be the LA Rams. I think the LA Rams have been around this point the entire season. LA Rams look really good at some points, and then sometimes they look like I think to me that Ravens game, we were just talking about how the Ravens are playing not like Ravens football at all. They only got 17 on them. Puka went out, sure, that is a factor. But Puka's going to be out for the next couple of weeks, maybe too. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, I think the LA Rams are legit. I think that they are going to have a hard time with Seattle going forward whenever it comes down to that division. I would not want to see either one of those teams probably in the playoffs hosting a game maybe or something. But I'm going to put LA Rams at my number 7 spot. BC, you're up number 8.
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh Steelers. Like we said, for all previous reasons mentioned before, starting to figure out a connection, starting to figure out a groove on offense, defense still. And, again, being able to get some of these impressive victories here and there, like, game manager Rodgers, obviously it's not the same as what we've seen before with MVP form. But, again, he's putting up respectable numbers. He's doing his job. He's not really forcing the ball too much, not really causing a lot of turnovers right now on offense. And, I mean, that's really at 41 years old, that's all you can really hope for with him. So, and I got to give flowers to them. Like they're performing well in the games they're supposed to perform well, and they didn't fumble the bag and look absolutely terrible against the team they should have beat, which, again, I'll get to later on in my later takes. But yeah, got to give credit to Pittsburgh. Steel Curtain is, still starting to be. They're playing respectful right now.
Imagine if the Steelers had a number 2 true wide receiver.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Well, the trade deadline's coming up on November 4th, which we'll be talking about that in a couple weeks. And there's a lot of rumors that they're going to be looking for another receiver out there. So they might be getting that wish. And if they can add another receiver, that's going to be a pretty scary team to play.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you right now. Ready? It's going to come into fruition.
Hold up.
Steelers are going to trade for Chris Olave.
Chris Olave, okay.
Watch it.
That'd be a hell of a duo.
It could work.
Yeah. Number 8, I got the Denver Broncos. I don't like necessarily what I'm seeing from their offense after that Jets game. That was, dude. I know that the Jets have a great defense. They've had for the last 4 or 5 years, but man, you got to show me more if you're trying to be a competitor, like a contender in the playoffs. Like they were talking about how the Broncos were going to be up there on the list or maybe even winning the AFC West. And they're looking good defensively. Still top 5 defense for sure. There's no doubt about that. But the offense, man, got to show me a little bit more. I think there has to be more targets to Sutton. There has to be more targets to Ingram. I think the running game, it's decent, but I think there has to be more push. RJ Harvey, I think he should be more usage as a catching back and a running back. I think there's got to be more work that's got to go into the offense, man. But their defense is spectacular, top 5 for sure. I love their defense. But if you're keeping a close game and almost lost to a 0-6 Jets team that they have no type of offense, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's mad question.
I'm actually in agreement with you as well. That's my number 8 team as well as Denver Broncos. And we were talking behind the scenes and everything like that. And originally that was my Super Bowl pick was Denver Broncos. I really was believing in the defense. I thought Bo Nix was going to step up a lot. Now Denver's been hot in the last few weeks. They're starting to look a little bit. They came out the gates kind of stumbling. They did lose to my Colts. But that was one of those losses that, one bad play and things are changed. There was they lost by the field goal and on some fluke play that should have never probably happened. But having said that, though, I agree with everything you said, G. Mike, and I think you laid it out very, very, very well. Honestly, there's not much else I can say about it. I think that Denver's defense is good enough to take them deep in the playoffs, though. Mr. BC, number 9.
Oh, this feels so nice to say because I can finally take out the baseball bat and just absolutely go to town on the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, gosh. Die, Eagles.
F
die.
the birds, baby.
Yes,
F the
sir.
birds.
Not only did you lose to Denver, which I can forgive a little bit. That defense, like we said, it's suffocating. But to get curb stomped by the freaking Giants of all teams, I know, Scataboon Dart, I get it,
Defense is
like
good.
yeah, but to get curb stomped, mollywopped, bludgeoned.
Whoa, we're a family show, man. Mollywopped.
Oh, we pop it out, man. We
Be
pop
saying
it out,
things
man.
like that, dude.
Actually, that might have been swearing for BC. Actually, that might have.
Well, yeah, I know.
Darn
My grandfather's rolling over in the grave somewhere. But no, man, like it was just ugly. But again, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it because, ref ball bailed you guys out. You talk about being on fraud alert. They've been on my fraud alert since week 4, and so it's
Sing it, baby, sing it.
And so now they're finally starting to live up to their reputation. So fraud. So
F the birds. F the birds.
yeah, they still skip by in the top 10 by the thinnest of margins, but nah, man, if they drop one more,
Yeah, I got them at number 9 too, man. I gotta keep them there because they're 4-2. They just lost back-to-back weeks, so it's a little gut punch to them for sure. A little,
Yeah.
And I love it. But their offense, man, is just showing me nothing. Teams are figuring out how they're using Saquon Barkley. He hasn't been rushing the same. The blocking hasn't really been there, and it's due to the fact that they're looking to run all the time. Like, you have a superstar wide receiver in AJ Brown. You have a great role wide receiver 2 in Devontae Smith. You have a top 15 tight end, catching tight end in Dallas Goedert, and you don't use him as much. You're just relying on everything to happen with Saquon Barkley. And I get it. Offensive player of the year and all that and all this stuff. And, he's great. He is. There's no doubt about it. But you got to play the game strategically. You can't just be, we're going to give the ball to him. We're going to give the ball to him. We're going to give the ball to him. Oh, damn. Now we're punting. Oh, let's get the ball back. Okay, let's try to throw in this down. All right, we get 5 yards to throw. Okay, now we're going to get the ball to him. Now we're going to get the ball to him. Okay, now it's 3rd and 13. Let's try to throw the ball down. No, we can't because our offense isn't that good. So now we got to rely on our defense to make stops, and other teams are scoring on our defense. Our defense is not that great. It's just like you need to open up the playbook more. Let Jalen Hurts try to do what he does in the Super Bowls. In the past weeks, he's done good as well. These last 2 games he hasn't, but give him the opportunity to throw at least 25 to 30 times a game and let Saquon just rush the ball 12 times and let's see what happens. But no, they don't want to do that. Just want to keep running the ball and they want to keep losing. And hey, I'm with it, baby. I'm with it.
Yeah, so actually, I have the Eagles out of my top 10 this week. They just haven't looked right enough for me. I actually have a surprise number 9 in here. They possibly could be on the rise a little bit more, seeing how these next few weeks go. But I got the New England Patriots in there. The New England Patriots have been playing some great football lately. They call it the Mike Vrabel effect, or maybe Drake May really is the real deal. But here's what's wild, man. How the NFL is just such fun every week, and you can do these debates and all these stuff like that. But like I was saying before, if the season ended right now, the New England Patriots are the winner of the AFC East. I know this is way too early to even say they are or anything like that, but to even say that statement right now is even just crazy. It just shows that they are playing really well, and I do not think that they're going to win the AFC East, so we're not trying to say all that. I'm just saying how crazy the season has been right now. Just how crazy the season has been. But I do like what I'm seeing out of New England. I think that they're a young team that's starting to grow and starting to play a lot better and starting to look better. They're starting to remind me a little bit of the old Patriots, man. They have a bunch of players that are just doing their job. They don't have necessarily any per se stars, if you will. Diggs is a little bit past, and that just seems like a New England thing that they'll get a guy that's been around for years, and then they'll find a way to use him and utilize him. Diggs been coming around. Boute's been playing really well. I like Drake May. I think he's mobile. He reminds me of
Booty.
Yeah, Drake May is a poor man's Josh Allen right now. Like he's mobile, he's got a big arm, he's got a good size to him. I like what New England is doing right now. I never thought I'd be saying that this early, but I got to put New England up there, and I had to knock out the Eagles out of this spot. So your finals pick for your Week 7 power rankings, Mr. BC.
I've got the Denver Broncos cracking my top 10. I know obviously the win again. Some people are going to come at me or whatever for Philly. Like why are these two teams not so? Especially with my hatred for Philly, this is just semantics right now. This is literally like neck and neck. Honestly, I could flip this by tomorrow. But I'm going to give Denver their flowers. The defense has been shut down, lights out. The should have been defensive player of the year last year. Patrick Surtain leading the charge on that end. No fly zone has been reinstituted in Denver and all surrounding areas on any future flight visits. So, but yeah, the offense, they got to figure it out. I know that, Philly struggled and stuff on offense, but Denver has literally like almost lost the game to the Jets. Obviously doing just enough to kick the field goal at the end, but if they want to be serious contenders out west, they need to do more on offense. Bo Nix needs to figure it out. They got to, like you said, get some more, plays drawn up for the receivers. Like, you got to start airing it out. That's his specialty. That's what he's good at. Like, you got to start dialing up on offense. Take more chances if you want to climb up higher in the rankings.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, rounding up the Denver, rounding up the top 10. Mike, your final pick for your power rankings for this week.
So I was debating, right? And I do like the New England Patriots, right, at 10. But I didn't put them there because I think the San Francisco 49ers need the appreciation on the fact that they can do it with whoever's out there. I know that they play the Tampa Bay Bucks and, they lost Fred Warner, and it was a big loss for them for sure. But you're playing a top 2 team in the league. Almost got it done, obviously did it. But they're doing it with Mac Jones back there, Christian McCaffrey. Thank God he's been healthy this season. But everybody else has been injured. George Kittle's been out. Brandon Ayuk probably won't even come back this season. Jawan Jennings, he's been out for a couple of weeks too. So they've been having to do it with Kendrick Bourne. And Kendrick Bourne looks like a superstar receiver right now. He looks great. The 2 starts that he's had more than 15 plus points in fantasy for you fantasy managers out there. So great waiver pickup for me, by the way. I was going to say that. But I think the Niners still need the praise, the flowers to be given to them. For me, they dropped down in my list, the list that I had 2 weeks ago, from 9 to 10. And it's only because of the sheer fact of the injuries, and especially now with their leader on defense, Fred Warner, that's going to be gone. I think it's for the season, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, for the season, that's the captain of your defense gets out for the rest of the season. That is a huge blow. Huge.
Yeah, and speaking of George Kittle, he's supposed to start practicing this week, and they're expecting him to possibly play on Sunday. So that'll be big news for them. I will be completely honest. I just kind of written off the 49ers, but you were completely right, and I think that they deserve to possibly be in that spot. I did not have them in that spot. Truly, what I wanted to do was put Kansas City in the number 10 spot, just because I think that they are looking finally like they used to. But I had to put Jacksonville in this spot, considering that they just beat the Kansas City Chiefs on that crazy ass play from Trevor Lawrence. So I couldn't necessarily have them, especially it's the bottom spot. I couldn't necessarily have them above somebody that just beat them. So I had to go with Jacksonville. I really honestly wanted to put Kansas City in there, and I possibly could have put the 49ers in there for the impressive job that they've been able to do with all the injuries they've had. Jacksonville, like we were talking about before, their defense is playing lights out. The offense, it's just leaving you wanting more. And I feel like that's been the MO with the entire Trevor Lawrence experience, is that sometimes he'll make some great plays and it's like, damn, this guy's really great. And then sometimes it's like, man, like, is this guy really even that good? Having said that, I got to put them in my top 10 to round it out. So I think that was a lot of fun for this one right here. Just as a little bit of a house cleaning for the show in here. We kind of decided we're going to start doing this every other week so that it's not mundane. It's not the same stuff for you guys over and over. So we'll be doing it on the odd weeks. just so we give a little bit of stuff to actually talk about in there. So that was our week 7. I really enjoyed that. I think all you guys will enjoy it as well. So hopefully you guys can have some fun with that, talking about anyways. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to one of our segments that we just kind of started doing. It's at that time of year. It's the playoffs, so let's go ahead and head to that bullpen.
America's pastime from Brandon's bullpen.
All right, man. We have the BC's bullpen going strong right here. And if you haven't been able to catch up, we have the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. We got the LA Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers. The LA Dodgers are in the lead in the series right now. They're up 2-0. And I believe that it's the same thing in the Seattle and Blue Jays series. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon. It is a 2-0 series in those as well. Mr. BC, man, what's your thoughts on what you've seen so far in these ALCS and NLCS, man?
West Coast dominance, man. That's what it is right now. And both teams have been kind of dominating in similar ways. Great pitching on both sides, great hitting. It's one of those things. It's kind of a boring thing to say. Both the Dodgers and the Mariners just win by absolutely crushing opponents. From the offensive side of the play, you got multiple guys getting home runs in the past couple games. Seattle, you could say, has a little bit more of an impressive offensive feats, like obviously 13 runs, I believe 3 to the Blue Jays, whereas the Dodgers, not as much offense compared to Seattle, 7-2, but obviously the pitching, Blake Snell absolutely dominating on the mound, 8 innings, and then I believe, let me make sure I get the pronunciation right of their newest acquisition. Oh man, let me see. I just had it pulled up here. Let's see. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. 9 innings, 1-run baseball. Absolutely just fantastic. Like all the free agent acquisitions that the Dodgers made this year have been paying off big time in the postseason, especially on the pitching end. In Seattle, it's the hit show now. The hit show moved from New York to Seattle, so now it's all on the West Coast now, and Seattle's dominating. A lot of postseason heroics from Cal Raleigh, who a lot of people, between him and Judge for the MVP conversation, I think that he's really helping solidify his case. Obviously, it's going to be a regular season award, but yeah, like both teams, I think, are going to do just enough to kind of carry it home. And again, I think it's going to be Seattle and LA in the World Series. It would be Seattle's first ever World Series appearance. Obviously, I think most of America, unless you're living in LA with gag. Anyway, most of America, I think, would want Seattle to win that one. It's a true underdog story. Obviously, they've got a lot of very fan favorite, popular players. Cal Raleigh, again, you don't know his story, big dumper. First catcher in MLB history to hit, I think, even over 50 home runs, and he did 60. MVP candidate for sure. Gold Glove caliber behind the plate, Silver Slugger. And just a great story overall. And then also, too, they got even former Randy Arozarena, 2020 World Series legend Randy Arozarena, although he's been kind of struggling at the plate. But he'll figure it out. But, yeah, for the most part, it's been kind of a boring postseason. Like, I mean, most people, like the divisional series was exciting between Seattle and Detroit, down to the wire on that one, like a walk-off error is what ended it. But yeah, for the most part, I would say it's going to be LA and Seattle. And gosh, I honestly don't know who to pick with that one, because you've got the money and you've got the underdog story. It's a real David and Goliath thing. But I'm going to save that one for the next round. I'll do that. We'll do that. But I got a West Coast World Series, so there's your prediction right there.
Yeah, and just as a little bit of housekeeping as well, thank you once again, Teresa, for checking in and watching the show. We really appreciate it. Tell everybody you know we really appreciate it. Tell all your friends, tell all your family. Like and subscribe. You know the drill up here. We actually have a easy QR code at the top right-hand side up there to take you to our YouTube page. We really appreciate that. But to answer your question, we've been doing Wednesdays, but I think we're going to end up just changing it probably to Tuesdays, trying to keep that as consistent as possible. It's usually Tuesdays and Saturday mornings. Tuesdays are usually between 7 and 8, and then Saturdays usually around 10 a.m., somewhere in there. But you can always watch the replays and the reruns on either Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, damn near anybody that has socials, we're on there. So really appreciate you checking in and watching the show with us. But BC, man, I know, like you were saying too, like you're picking a West Coast out there as well. The pitching for the Dodgers, though, man, that has just got to be an X factor in this going forward. What do you think?
Oh no, for sure. And that's the thing. Playoff experience. Obviously, you've got Blake Snell. He's on a revenge tour to prove himself after the whole
Yeah.
2020 fiasco. And then also too, like Shohei Ohtani has not yet pitched in this series yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing him deal in this series for sure. And also too, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, just one of their big international free agent acquisition this year, pitching 9 innings straight, 3 hits, 1 run allowed. Blake Snell doing a 1 run or doing a one hit, not even a 1 run, a 1 hitter through 8. Like that's incredibly remarkable. And so yeah, you've only went through 4 names in their entire bullpen. Like
Right.
that, if they are able to keep the amount of pitchers that they use in this series to like under 10, they're going to be looking really good and well rested going into the World Series. And honestly, I would say they probably have the easier of the two teams to go up against. I know Milwaukee was surging there late in the regular season, but I would still say Toronto is more of a tough challenge for Seattle. So if Seattle or if Toronto can kind of make it a grind for them, Seattle. Let me see. Seattle's already gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 or 8 of their pitchers already. So if they can keep grinding like that, that's going to definitely play, I think, a difference in the World Series. Anybody that says that, not anybody that says, but if anytime you get to the World Series, whoever's got the freshest arms, I think usually is going to win it all. That's my opinion.
So real quick,
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
my bad, real quick. Game 3,
Yeah.
Toronto
Mhm.
at Seattle. Who you
Yep.
got?
Oh, I got Seattle in that one. I do think Seattle. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, man. Like they are on the road. I don't think that Toronto is going to pull it off on the road just yet. I think that they'll wait until like a game 4, and that's when they'll probably finally like come alive and probably steal one right there, like do or die. I think that's the kind of team Toronto is. And then to maybe flip it to the other side to the National League, I've got LA winning that one.
Well, I think for one of the good things about this postseason is that you have the one big name team for the MLB. You have the Dodgers, obviously, and then you have a bunch of teams that's never really been there or have been. They're not as much the household name. So I think it's a great postseason. I agree with you. It's been a little bit slower. G. Mike and I are Red Sox and Yankees fans, so that was extremely exciting for the both of us. That series was pretty exciting just because anytime the Red Sox and Yankees play, especially postseason, it's going to be fun.
It's
But
gonna feel like
I think that
baseball.
this postseason is it's going to be setting up great because you have, like we were saying, we have the Dodgers, and then you're going to have a relative newcomer to this stage. So I think that's going to work out really well for the MLB and for the postseason going forward.
Yeah, and then they're not going with. At least they don't have the rematch running back from last year. That again, most of America is going to be groaning at. Sorry, G Mike.
I mean,
I
it
will say
is what it is, man.
all of America cheered with joy when the Yankees fell to our boy. Oh, I can't rhyme right now. Crap, never mind. I'm too tired.
All right, well, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this segment for us today, this week of Brandon's bullpen, and we'll be doing that all throughout the playoffs and any kind of major news that's coming through the baseball world. We'll be checking in with all our guy BC. So we got one more segment that we're going to go ahead and do. It's not going to be super long, but we just wanted to talk about it a little bit because we got the NBA coming up here in the next few weeks, and we're all excited about it, man. Mr. G Mike, I know you're a big NBA guy. We're going to keep this pretty brief and simple. Just give me a couple things that you were excited about in this upcoming season and maybe some stuff you're not as excited about.
What I'm excited about is that the Boston Celtics are not going to have Jason Tatum, baby. So instead of being like, hey, man, Boston might do it again. Might go to the finals. They might go to the Eastern Conference. Now we're talking about Boston might be in the play-in, baby. They might be in the play-in. And I love it, baby, because it's F Boston always, baby. We got to see what Jaylen Brown's going to do, Derek White's going to do. There's no more Drew Holiday there. Yeah, they brought in Anthony Simons, but we got to see how he meshes well with that team and how that chemistry could get built. But right now, it's going to be all on Jaylen Brown, and we're going to see what he can do. Is he going to be that superstar that people think that he is? Some people think that he's better than Jason Tatum. I don't know who those people are. It's not me. But some people do think that he's better than Jason Tatum. It's kind of crazy. But is he going to be that type of player, or is he going to be the player that ends up choking because he's the number one in the throne and he can't do it? We'll see. We'll see what's up. But it's dope to say that we might not even see the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, baby. I love it. That's what I'm excited for, baby. Hell yeah.
All right, BC. I noticed you changed hats out there, man. Got the repping the new Orlando Magic look. I'm liking it, looking fresh. So, why don't you give me some ideas on what you're excited about this season, man? Give me something real quick, and then we'll move on to myself and then G Mike again.
Magic basketball, man, it's back. We back, man. We got the core four. You got Jalen Suggs. You've got new addition Desmond Bain. You've got Powell. You got Franz, and you even got Dell that's balling out in the preseason right now. He's looking pretty good. That starting five is looking fresh. Not just that, you've got the rebrand with the jerseys, the logo. This look like this gorgeous thing. Right? Oh, wait, no, there you go. This gorgeous logo right there. It's a little modernization of the throwback right there from the '90s. So I dig it. Not only that, but even
Where's
like
mine?
the whole. What's up?
Where's mine? Come on.
Come on, bro. You ain't hit me up. You ain't hit me with the Venmo, bro.
The memo.
I was gonna say, also you sell me the money. I got you, man. I'll get those discounts.
Hell yeah, for sure.
No, excited though too. Like a whole new presentation. They got the new jumbotron in there though too. Like I was able to view it when I went to orientation the other day. That thing is ultra sleek, ultra modern, gorgeous to look at. They got several like other like little side video panel boards to do more sponsorships and just adding to the show. So it's a lot of new stuff in Orlando. It's exciting. You've got a team that honestly feels like it could contend for a championship as soon as this year. So that's my biggest thing I'm looking forward to the NBA this season. Magic basketball is back.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you one thing that I am excited about, and this one's going to be kind of a surprise. But I'm excited actually that NBC is taking over for the All Star stuff. I think it's going to be a great format. They've already announced that they're planning all kinds of new changes and bringing the All Star Weekend back to what it actually used to be in the mid 2000s, late 90s, where it was actually taken serious and these games were pretty good. There's a lot of talks of making it a round robin tournament of international players versus American players, or just having a format of USA versus the world. They've already talked about maybe changing the format of the dunk contest, if even getting rid of it completely, because the dunk contest hasn't been that great anymore. They just have a lot of fresh ideas that they're going to bring. And let's face it, man, that theme song that the NBC used to always have back in the day, everybody knows it. It's what made basketball fun back in the 90s. So I'm really excited to see NBC take back over, and I think it's going to bring a more serious nature back to the NBA and the All-Star Weekend and make it more prideful and make it back to what it used to be, where these guys actually took it serious. G-Mike, one more thing you're excited about, my man.
One more thing I'm excited about?
I mean, if you got more, the floor is yours.
Man, honestly, I'm excited to see your Dallas Mavericks, bro. I think that they're probably going to be the best defensive team in the league. I want to see how that's going to play out with those four towers over there with Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, Anthony Davis, Cooper Flagg. I think they're going to be sprung all around the court. Teams are going to have trouble scoring in the paint, maybe even on threes as well. I'm not saying that they're going to go 82-0 or anything like that, but I think they're going to be top 3 in the West for sure, maybe top 6 in the whole NBA. And when it comes to defense, I think they're going to be number 1, man. I'm very excited for that. And then when Kyrie Irving comes back, the offense is going to be obsolete.
All right, BC, you got anything? What's another thing you're excited about this NBA season, man?
I'd say in this new NBA world of parity, where it just seems like every single year there's a new team that steps up to the plate, wins championship. I'm most excited to see if the Oklahoma City Thunder, if what they can do from last year to this year, if they can just continue. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander coming back from a great MVP season, one of the best in the last decade. If he, J-Dub, Dort, Holmgren, if they can all kind of roll it back, and I want to see if we have another dynasty on the hands. Seems like we said, I don't think we've had a repeat champion since the 2017-2018 Warriors. So it would be something to see Oklahoma City, of all places, that team that had been cursed so long, getting so close but not quite there.
Yeah.
Now they're the next dynasty, and they're doing it, I think, the right way. They did it through the draft. They did it through a lot of great trading, building a lot of homegrown talent, and a lot of them, I think, are going to be bought in long term. And this is something where if they win this year, it would not surprise me to see a lot of these guys re-sign for cheaper, and it would not surprise me to see these guys maybe talk about like doing some contract renegotiations, maybe having some void years or something, just trying to add maybe just some more flexibility so that way they can have something long term. Because this, in the modern NBA, this team is, I would say, probably the perfect fit. One that doesn't rely too much on one area or the other, is really versatile, really dependable. And again, on top of this, they're all homegrown talent. And this is the one dynasty that I would actually love to see.
Yeah, to piggyback off what you're saying too, is that I like the mentality of Oklahoma City. They're playing defense and offense, and I like it too because that they actually all look like they want to be there. Like they're not worried that it's not LA, that it's not New York or any of these places. All those guys look like they play hard for each other. They appreciate what they're actually got going on, and I think that they're all young and smart enough to realize, like, hey, we could make something very, very big happen here. And I think you're completely right. Everybody kind of writing them as the new dynasty. I agree with that totally, and I do think that they just have something about them that they're youthful and that they seem like they play the game right. They're not really, I don't know. I like the way Oklahoma City plays. So, of course, like G-Mike said, everybody already knows I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, so I'm very, very excited to see what this Cooper Flag experiment is going to look like. They've been running him at point guard. They're got him running all over the place, and I think this kid is fit for what's going to be with the NBA. The new NBA, and I think Dallas is going to be a very good team. They just re-signed Jason Kidd to a long-term extension as well, which I think he's a great coach and a great fit for the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm really excited about that because there was a lot of talk that he might be possibly going to the Knicks, but I'm really excited the fact that he stayed there. But one of the biggest things I'm excited about is I'm excited to see Victor Wembanyama. I know it's, as a Mavs fan, you never want to see anything with the Spurs, but I'm really excited to see what the Spurs team can do. I think Wembanyama is about to take over the league. There's new photos of him in the gym and looking like even more fit than he already did before, but he's actually putting on some muscle now, and he's starting to come into that body. He's still such a young player and such a young prospect. I'm just really excited to see what this kid can actually do, and if this guy can figure it out, stay healthy, it's going to be extremely hard to stop this guy in anything he does because he's all around just a great player, and he seems like he has the right mentality to be a legend in this game. He constantly comes to work. He seems like he's all about basketball, not about the glitz and the glam. So as a young player, it's great to see that he's taking his role and responsibility very serious. But it's go Mavs all day long.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, unless you got anything else you guys want to mention about the NBA, because we still do have a couple weeks before it starts. We can do some more segments on it. You got anything quick you guys want to talk about the NBA?
Ready to roll. That's it.
NBA's back, baby.
Sounds
Tuesday.
great.
Let's go.
Sounds great. I believe it's October 22nd. The NBA will be back in full swing. And just as a reminder as well, the NBA is going to be on multiple different channels coming up. They got Prime. They got NBC. It's going to be a lot of different places, so you'll be able to get your action out there. As for Views from the Stands, I am Stevie B, Steve Brennan. I got Mr. G Mike. I got Mr. BC. We are going to call it a night for you. Hopefully we'll be back and ready to rock and roll on Saturday morning. Might be a two-man show. We'll see how that one goes. But we really appreciate everything you got going on. That's been watching with us and riding with us. And tell all your family and friends. Give us a like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Get these views up for us so we can continue on giving out this product that we've been trying to give to you guys. G Mike, you got anything for the people?
Go Canes, baby. Tomorrow night, Louisville. About to be 6-0, baby.
Mr. BC.
Yo, horns up, man. Number 19 in the nation, man. We coming for that group of 5 spot in the playoffs, man. We coming for the revenge game against UG Mike in Miami.
And as far as my Gators go, I wish those Gators would just eat me now because we suck. So, and Billy Napier might not make it through the weekend. So I'm still rooting for you guys. Let's go, Gators. All right, fellas. Well, we're going to call this thing a night, and we truly appreciate everything you guys been watching with us and riding with us. We're going to call it a night. Peace. We are out.